Right, my friends, if you want to do background checks.
Yes, I've heard.
Okay, how many years ago, the last 2 weeks, say that we're gonna, all the officers.
Right. Yeah, yeah, they're quick too. Yeah, a week, right? Okay. All right. We're here today for a regular scheduled meeting, in the Hill County Commissioners Court. This is the 9th day of December, 2025, 8:30 a.m., Hill County Courtroom. You do have a quorum present. Commissioner Lake is not going to be with us today. We'll go ahead and start with the prayer. Everybody please say.
Father, thank you once again for this day. We pray for the jury, our commissioners, all these that are involved in the county today. Father, we ask that you give them the wisdom, the knowledge, ability, everything that they need to lead this county the way they do have it to be done. In Christ Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of to the republic which stands one nation indivisible for the liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, one state under God, one indivisible.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. How are you this morning?
Good, I'm good. We are just patching up some roads. We did some equipment maintenance when we had the rain. We got some culvert installs that we've done. Some citizens have bought their culvert safety ends and when we're out working on the roads, we put those in. Put one in over on 1137. We took our new mulching head and we went through our melon head, rather, we went across the 1127 bridge and took out all the potholes there and relaid some road base and then rolled it. So hopefully that'll hold up for a little bit. That's just a problem for the buses. Getting across them. And we had on our new asphalt job out on 1240, we had a bus accident last week. And that did some damage that we're gonna have to repair, so we'll get to that.
I wondered if it damaged the road at all.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Oh, one thing, we've been waiting on parts for a shredder for 3 weeks. It finally arrived yesterday. Hope we get it back together and go back to shredding some roads. And while we had a little moisture, we got as many roads bladed across as quick as we could before it got too dry again. And then we still got hauling back to Allen Rock, trying to fix weak places and waiting to get the house tore down.
Okay. Commissioner?
Alden Rock, that's what we've been doing, trying to keep a full crew. Got a couple guys out sick today. Only had 2 Friday, so hard to get anything done with just 2 guys, but that's about it.
'Tis the season, right?
Yes.
Tam?
I'm great.
As you.
Sheriff?
Everything's good. Looks like maybe 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks for the Sheriff Avalanche. They sent me the advertisement stuff the other day, so I'm excited to get that going. Get a lot of information out there that public needs, so.
Awesome. So,
Right now, our big ticket things in IT judge are kind of all things related to the sheriff's office. We were supporting Vested Networks, a new VoIP phone vendor last week, whenever they came out and installed new phones for the sheriff's office. Using network configuration stuff, get all that working as it should. We will be working later on today with Axon to start the try to get the videos tagged appropriately. And we've got to do some cleanup in the server room to make some room for the new CAD system that we're gonna actively start installing after the first of the year. So
awesome. Constable Gersh?
Precinct 2's kicking. We're serving papers and Got a bunch of people. Holiday season, I thought it was a little bit easier, but everybody on the way. You know, but be careful with their thoughts. Yeah, just.
Development services? Yes.
Everything's going pretty smooth over there. I've got some paperwork I will present to the commissioners here after we wrap up today, just to give you all a heads up of something we're looking to the future on. Over there, we have an EDR that finished her class. She's waiting to take a test, and we'll need your approval to get her in the DR spot over there. Other than that, we're looking to.
Awesome. Shannon Jackson.
He's on the emergency management, they all the time are still working with the vendor, constitutional stuff, that's not operating exactly as you had hoped. But, very confident that they can resolve it. The meetings on Friday, will kick off the emergency plans, that the commission court approved, a couple weeks ago. As irrigation is still rolling forward, they hope to have the draft submitted to the state in January. Lots of just, I swear, I think everyone tried to slam every meeting possible this week because the next 2 weeks everybody's closed.
For sure.
I'll try to have it. Soon.
ESD one?
One of the newest things that we just did, we actually purchased a brush truck. So now we have an extra brush truck in the county for one of the fire departments. Just in case one of their trucks goes down. So got a great deal on it. It's probably worth 3 times what we got it for. So definitely help the city taxpayer money, people on it.
Awesome. Mr. Holmes.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to open forum. Is anybody here in the audience for open forum? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and step up to the podium, tell us your name, and
My name is
limit your
Gina
comments to
Lisa-
about 5 minutes.
Okay. Gina Lisa Reproval, I go by Lisa. My mom and dad have lived on 1212 Snyder Brothers Wrecking Yard out there. A lot of people know it's been there for over 55 years. Well, the road, my mom can't even sit outside anymore because the road is so bad. The dust, they fly down that road. I mean, when they hit that dirt road, you can nearly hear them. And they're doing anywhere from 80 to 90 miles an hour. And they fly by my mom and the dust and it just lingers in the air. It's like you throw baby hot. Well, it's starting to cause where her allergies and her coughing. And I'm starting to get worried about her health because it's very unhealthy to be breathing. They have been promising my parents and everybody else on 1212 for over 55 years now that they're gonna pave that road. And I'm here to ask, when's it gonna happen? I mean, 55 years, I think that's a long time to pave that road. And it's probably longer than some of y'all are old. You know, I'm sorry, but I mean, they bought that land with the intention and they were told that the road would be paved, and that was 55 years ago. And as a kid, we used to get on the bus and run off the property, you run through the ditch and up on the road. Now there's no ditch and the road is lower than the property because of the constant grading. And it's defeating the purpose of when the water rolls, it rolls where it shouldn't roll because there's no ditch for it to roll in anymore. But something needs to be done because it's very unhealthy. She can't have a garden anymore. If you drive down 1212, you'll look up at the trees, you don't see green. I don't care if it's springtime, you don't see green, you see white. It looks like it has snowed. So something needs to be done. I mean, I also happen to live back out there because my dad has just recently passed away. And I have custody of 2 autistic grandkids. And I have one who's 10 and he elopes. So he'll run across the road and hear these people, they don't stop, they don't slow down. I mean, I can't explain, yeah, you really need to go out there and look and see how bad it is. It's time for the road to be paved. I mean, it's 2025. There shouldn't be gravel roads anywhere anymore. I mean, it's to the point, it's time to do something about it. Not just, staring up people's cars, but people's health. It's proven that stuff causes lung cancer on top of it. So we need to do something for the citizens that live down 12th. We need speed limit signs. And I would like to see some children at play because of the grandkids, and mine are not the only one that lives along 1212. And I'd really like to see it paved. I'd like that promise, that 55-year-old promise. Yeah. That's about all I gotta say.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else here for open forum? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Maureen Strickland, and I know a lot of times you hear a lot of complaints, and for once, I would like to say thank you. We have a wonderful ESD board. The nominations up for today are some of the best we've worked with side by side in a long time. We know them very well. Ken, we love you. It's been a long road. I hope you continue to stay by our side with your knowledge. But it's great to see new blood step in and build this ESD board to where these volunteers of Hill County that fight your fires, pull people from burning cars, keep the farmers safe, are going to be safe. That is what they have. Chad, phenomenal, Greg, all of them. They look for our safety. Again, like I said before, we have equipment, 17th century. They are now, as he said, buying equipment. It may not be new, it may not be a 2025, 2006, 2007, but it doesn't have the miles and the wear and tear. A sad situation was the bad wreck on 171. The fire department got up there. The hydraulic system didn't work on their jaws. It's time to update this equipment. With this new ASD board, we're giving them a list of wants and needs that these departments need for our safety and your safety. Thank you. I hope we keep Chad and this board and we build a bond with everyone.
Thank you. Anybody else here for open forum?
Thank you. I actually have two things. So, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to recognize Commissioner Goins. You mind coming up here, sir? The recognition?
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Commissioner Goins has been on ESD for a very, very long time. 20 plus years.
At least 20.
You
I was the last appointee of Judge Davis. So that tells you how long I've been here.
Definitely. Also 20-year veteran in the United States Marine Corps, firefighter for the county. He has done a lot. And I wanted to show him appreciation in front of the council. So this here says presented to Ken Goins appreciation for your years of dedication service to the citizens of Hill County. And then on the back, so you'll never forget all the fire departments you love or hate.
Well, I won't forget it.
So I'm gonna make sure I get this.
I've got a list of. I got on the board. And 3 of us sat there and looked at each other, or 2 of us at one time, to see if we had a forum. We graduated from that point. We've lost 2 elections to try, we stuck at 3 cents per 100. We've lost 3 elections on that. We have survived on what money we got at 3 cents. So it's been a long, hard ride. I appreciate every day that I've done it and everything else. I tried to do what was right and my best and everything else. I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you and everything else and all the fire departments. I appreciate the time and everything else that we've gone through. I thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I didn't do my name. Greg Brown. ESD one president. Another thing I kind of wanted to bring up is some of the issues that we've had recently, as far as just to kind of bring you guys up to date. I know I've talked to a couple commissioners at different points in time, but I want to kind of speak on behalf of myself and Commissioner Chad Wilson, who is in the back. In our roles as ESD, we have been working, I've been here for 5 years as a commissioner, and this is my first year as president, starting in February. Commissioner Chad Wilson, this marks his second year mark, and he is also since February been the treasurer. On four separate occasions, we've been asked from different people to you guys, to the AG, to the let's see here, the AG, the district attorney, yourself, judge, and also the Texas Ethics Committee to remove us from office for different things that we had not done. One was the audit, which was turned in on time. For some reason, he keeps pushing this issue. One of the things this is doing for us is this taking away from what we need to do and the actions that this is an unpaid position, and spending 30 or 40 hours just on one person trying to make sure that they have whatever they're wanting, not knowing what the agenda is, not communicating with us, makes it very difficult. One of the things that did come up recently was a bond. I didn't want to talk about that bond, and with that bond, right now we have in our insurance policy with VFIS $450,000. I talked to the judge, and that's for the entire ESD. It covers every person who's associated on our board, including our secretary, for theft, for the citizens' money. Talking to the judge, there's supposed to be a bond. We looked at the 775, that is correct. We did not realize this. This is how ESD2 has operated the entire time. I know asking for not appointing Chad Wilson as commissioner again, but the issue with that is it leaves us in a deficit in a job that's already hard enough without somebody coming at us thinking that we're doing ill will. Instead of asking what's going on, what are you guys doing, coming to our meetings. I don't have time to talk to every single citizen all day long. I have a job, I have a business, and I do this. So it took us an entire day to go pick up the truck, get paperwork, and do everything else. So those are a lot of hours that we're spending. When we talk about the bond, I know it was $40,000 that we talked to the judge and came up with for equitable solution. What we're covered now is gone. So we're only covering 10% of what we are currently covering. And it only covers Mr. Chad Wilson. And when he leaves or moves appointments, if we moved him to a different position in February, $2,000 for bond is gone. Now we have to bond a completely separate person, go through the same things that we're going through now. I would like to see if we can come up with an alternative, working through the attorneys and seeing if we can either go to the Texas Attorney General for an opinion on whether or not a bond and insurance, they're very closely tied in 775. It doesn't say a surety bond. It just says a bond. So see if we can come up with a better solution to ensure that in the future, and I'm not worried about the $40,000 with myself, anybody presently on our board. This is not about right now. This is about the future and making sure right now we have 1.3 million in the bank. I would like to make sure we are taking care of those funds as much as possible. The other thing is pursue a legislative fix and trying to find out if 775, see if we can get it to authorize a blanket insurance or the county can self-assure with the ESD for those different things. One of the things I did want to mention is as far as with how far this has gone. We have already had 4 open records requests, 1 in October, 3 in November so far from Mr. Daniel Wilson. One of the open records requests was literally sent to the Texas Ethics Committee and was dismissed in 6 minutes. I got an email from our lawyer saying he's talking to the Texas Ethics Committee. 6 minutes later, a dismissal letter on the video that he actually videoed when we were at our meeting, kind of like this. The difference was the person who was doing it was hiding the camera, and they noted that in their paperwork. And if you guys like to see it, I can give it to you. But you noted that in their paperwork and said even though they didn't realize that they were being videotaped, they did nothing wrong, and your video proves it. So that's the extent of what we're going through, and that's paying another lawyer $250 an hour to go ahead and pursue things, and that's wasting the taxpayers' money. So I wanted you guys to be aware, because I know you're probably gonna get more allegations. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get an open records request on this. So it is what it is, but I want to make sure you know, and that we are doing our best, and we will continue to do our best. But we can't do our best if other citizens aren't going to get up and assist us, and they're trying to do harm. Just like Doreen said, she's one of our fire chiefs. Those jobs that we're trying to do to help these different fire departments, they're badly needed. There was a casualty in that. I don't know if our equipment, having better equipment, I did not dig into everything yet. But we always talk about it during our meetings and try to figure out better solutions for our fire departments to get better and how the ESD can help. So we're doing our best, and we need the citizens to help us with that, or else we're expecting about 4,000 to 8,000 people in the next year, with 2 data centers on each side of the county, one in Hubbard, one over in the other county in Bosque, but it's right across the street, a stone's throw from Whitney. So that's a lot of people coming to our county, and that's what I'm looking at, and that's what we need to prepare for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in the audience for open forum? Yes, ma'am. Approach your podium, please. Say your name for the record.
Amy Teal, it's my understanding that the animal control discussion will happen during the agenda, right?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wanted to 3 scholarships for students in the Whitney ISD for a Civic Youth Advisory Commission Summit that is hosted by TML every year. And so with this, it's an essay, 1,000 words on the Texas Open Meeting Act. So if there are any students in the Whitney ISD area, homeschool, private school, public school, I would like to encourage them to check that out, tinyurl.com, YAC Whitney. And I would like to encourage the other cities in Hill County to consider offering some sort of donation funding to get some more kids there so we can get more kids involved. One of the reasons that we chose the Texas Open Meetings Act for this is because there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding by not just the general public, but a lot of elected officials and unelected officials on how open government works. We just heard from an ESC guy about citizens harming them for merely asking for records requests on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. That's not harm. That is a basic premise of a representative republic. And the fact that somebody cannot figure that out and instead takes an open government principle and turns it into a fight against citizens while you're taking their money by force is pretty shitty. Flat out. That needs to stop. You guys can try talking to them, but records requests are the foundation of an open government. And if he doesn't like people not asking questions, then don't charge them $2,000 for a records request and just put it on your website. Easy peasy. But until people are not being taxed, records requests are going to continue. And the law does not require that you spend $250 an hour on attorneys to fill a records request. So if the ESD wants to waste taxpayer money by running things through an attorney in response to a records request, that's on them. But other than that, it's primary filing season. It's primary season, filing is ended. A lot of you guys are up for election again. And local elections are getting ready to start up. February 13th, filing ends for local elections, and then February 17th, early voting starts. There's a lot going on. Taxpayer dollars are on the ballot, and people need some tax relief. And one way or another, whether they have to vote down more taxes or elect new people who will put a lower tax and rein in spending. Something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. So thanks.
Thanks, ma'am. All right. Anybody else for open forum in the audience? Nope. Do we have anybody sign up online? We do. If you are online and you're here for open forum, if you would unmute your microphone. And you are free to speak. Go ahead and say your name for the record as well.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Judge. My name is Daniel Wilson, and I'm here today as a concerned citizen regarding the reappointment of Commissioner Chad Wilson to the ESD1 Board. You have all received my detailed letter, so I'll only focus on a few key points. Transparencies and records, as we just talked about, the ESD's own counsel has confirmed that the majority of meeting minutes and consent agenda packets, which include most of the district's financial information for 2025, do not exist. I wouldn't have to go through the process of submitting multiple PIAs if required documentation that should be posted online was there. Without minutes and records, the public cannot provide oversight and accountability breaks down. When requesting records, I was quoted over $2,000 for records that mostly should be publicly available to the public. Financial risk. Approximately $750,000 in taxpayer funds are currently documented as uncollateralized, leaving the public exposed. Despite acknowledging this concern, Treasurer Chad Wilson and the board has relied on a verbal assurance from the bank that the documented proof is there that is required by state law. The ESD auditor rejected these same verbal assurances. The auditor reported that deposits exceeded $960,000, leaving roughly $750,000 unprotected. If the auditor cannot rely on verbal assurances to safeguard nearly $1 million in public funds, neither should this court or the public. At the most recent board meeting, the board president stated the bank employee who helped open the account holding these funds is a former ESD commissioner. What remains unanswered is whether this individual was still serving at the time the account was open, or whether their involvement influenced the decision to place nearly $1 million of taxpayer money at their institution. Think about that. If collateralization was skipped to obtain a better rate for the ESD and more profit for the bank, then taxpayers were left carrying all the liability. The lack of clarity itself is a problem. The board recently adopted a spending policy that allows commissioners to obligate and spend public funds outside a formal board vote. Under state law, this authority belongs only to a bonded employee, not the treasurer, not bonded commissioners, but a bonded employee. So on top of a surety bond for the treasurer, they need a bonded employee. By approving this policy, the board stripped away safeguards designed to protect taxpayers. It raises a fundamental question. Why do commissioners hold unilateral spending authority and district-issued purchasing cards at all? Such practices bypass the checks and balances that ensure accountability and compliance with the law. And even if this scheme were lawful, which it's not, every individual with access to a district purchasing card would still require to be bonded. That requirement exists precisely because taxpayer money must never be left unprotected. Yet here, commissioners are exercising spending authority without bonds, without safeguards, and without accountability. Commissioner Wilson tied taxpayer funds to political advocacy, promising financial rewards to departments that campaign for tax propositions. Text messages obtained through 2PIA also show a dismissive attitude toward taxpayers and a belief that appointed commissioners are beyond accountability. I ask that today that you show the public that this is not the case. I want to note that the board is excessively charging for Public Information Act requests. These inflated estimates make it harder for citizens to obtain records that could reveal misconduct or hold the board accountable. The Public Information Act was designed to ensure transparency, not to price taxpayers out of oversight. According to the most recent audit, the ESD holds $1.34 million in semi-liquid assets and is projected to collect $1.5 million in tax revenue with the new sales tax. That is roughly $2.5 million in taxpayer funds under its control. A realistic surety bond amount should reflect that exposure, especially given the ongoing governance failures. Anything less would be a disservice to taxpayers. And to make matters worse, the county clerk has confirmed they can find no record of a surety bond filed by this ESD as far back as 2019. That means taxpayers may have been left unprotected for years. This is not just about setting the right amount, it is about ensuring compliance with the law and restoring public trust. How is it that an entity managing millions in public funds has gone potentially unbonded for half a decade? This means every financial transaction any treasurer has made at the ESD during that time could be problematic, as they could never have held that position without a bond. Surety bonds are non-negotiable. You have also before you a new applicant for the board, someone who has not served on this board and therefore had no role in these problems. What he represents is an opportunity, a reset, a restoration of trust, and a commissioner who will ensure minutes are taken, records are maintained, and expenditures made openly and lawfully. The community needs leaders who will not rubber stamp what is placed before them, but who will uphold transparency and safeguard public funds. I hope you have the time to ask these questions and find out if this person should be appointed. Voters do not elect ESD commissioners, you do. This creates a responsibility. Taxpayers fund the district, but have no ballot box voice in who oversees it. That means this court is the safeguard of accountability. Reappointment is not automatic. It is a choice, and that choice should reflect transparency, legality, and integrity. By withholding reappointment until these issues are reviewed, and by setting a bond amount that matches the actual exposure of taxpayer funds, you demonstrate to the public that their trust is well placed and that this court does not rubber stamp, but carefully evaluates those entrusted with public money. These are not minor issues. They reflect a pattern of noncompliance, fiduciary failure, and in some cases, potential legal violations that merit review. You should ask Mr. Brown if he has an open TEC complaint against him, because he does. I respectfully urge the court to withhold reappointment of Commissioner Wilson until these matters are fully reviewed by the appropriate agencies. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Do we have anybody else signed up online for open forum? Well, with that being the case, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Be actions on minutes, invoices, payroll, monthly report for revenue and disbursement, and observe and record any elected officials training certificates.
Make a motion approved.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right. We finished signing that one. We'll move on to agenda item number 1, discuss interaction on employee wage or status changes. We have some wage changes. Robert Bryant with CSCD, Ken Dyes with the ADA, Jerry Chitwood with the SO, and Ms. Alvarado with the county attorney's office. We have one separation of Mr. Adam Souter, and then one new hire, Mr. Jacob Eller with the SO. Make a motion. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're going to skip item number 2 because we already did that one. That was my fault. Number 3 is discuss interaction on bonds. We have approval for bonds for PSC officer Jamie Miller and the caseworker Alexis Gist.
Make a motion, please.
Motion, second, and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bank balances are supposed to be in the consent agenda. We won't see it on. Discuss interaction on the monthly bank balances for November 5th. Number 4 is monthly bank balances provided by Ms. Parker.
Make a motion, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, observe and record 2025 district attorney and sheriff chapter 59 funds. This is provided to us by Ms. Swilling from the auditor's office. This is just an observe and record item. Anything to speak on that?
No, it's just our annual reporting.
Make a motion.
And a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 6, it's connected to the back of them. Observe and record 2025 Sheriff Federal Equitable Sharing Report. Also provided Ms. Swilling. It's a yearly report as well. Motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 7, observe and or record Hill County CSCD statement of financial position.
Motion.
This is for no probation. You make a motion? I did. I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, discuss interaction on accepting a $1,045.27 donation from Rachel Esparza for the Hill County Community Emergency Response Team.
Make a motion.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 10, discuss interaction on the proceeding with the HART 2.7 upgrades in the amount of $16,266.60. This is coming to us from the Elections Commission. We met last week with.
Yeah, I think we do.
Oh, number 9, sorry, I can't count. Number 9 is discuss interaction on interlocal agreement between Hillco, Itasca, Texas and Hill County,
Precinct 2.
precinct 2.
They've been good about when we need water to donate us water for anytime we want to process a road or water the road. And they have quite a few water lines in the middles of our road. And we're gonna place some millings in some place where they can use that product to patch their water breaks.
I know that Mr. Holmes and I had discussed this. Mr. Holmes?
Well, I mean, they're not an entity which would fall into eligible interlocal, so I think we would just need to draft a standard contract between us and Hillco.
Repeat that, please.
They are not an entity that we can enter into an interlocal agreement with.
Mhm.
So I think we just need to draft a standard contract.
Uh-huh.
To do that. So you worded it on the agenda as interlocal, I don't think.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't quite loaded.
So it's kind of a, well, like kind of exchange. Services for materials.
Yeah, so sort of value will need to be placed on that.
Yeah. So no action right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we don't have a contract in front of us to approve. Yeah, let's report that.
So we can bring that back with a contract that Mr. Holmes has reviewed and Hillco has, well, Mr. Holmes has drafted, Hillco has reviewed and come to an
Okay,
agreement.
I'll get with him on that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Now to number 10, discuss interaction on proceeding with HART 2.7 upgrades in the amount of $16,266.60. Like I said, this came from the Elections Commission. Elections Commission, during this last election, it was brought to the elections administrator that our voting equipment is due multiple upgrades and it has not been upgraded for quite some time. The commission met with HART in the last commission meeting. This was the bid they gave us to upgrade the HART equipment. So it is the commission's recommendation that the court approve this. The funding is there. We have funding within the elections office to fund that.
So is this upgrading the existing equipment we already have?
Software.
The hardware,
There's a little bit of
hardware is obsolete, right?
Okay, there's two different things.
Yeah.
So it's on down further.
So on down further, but so we will address some of the hardware issues that we have. This particular one is basically one computer and then the software.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And they assured us that they could get this in place prior to the primary, so that would be very beneficial to us. Number 11. Discuss interaction on procurement of bids from No Inc. to provide electronic poll books for all early voting and election day location. We have gotten the bids from No Inc. and it's an interesting way that they bid it. No Inc. provides us the tablets and the customer service for 2 days to come in and train everybody on them. HART then provides the point of service printers and the cases that the tablets go in. The commission is in favor of this product. They got to review it, ask all the questions in the world. It looks like a very good product, very easy to use for our election judges and poll workers. It's, I don't want to say foolproof, but it's pretty close. Very secure, has all the Texas security features that are required by the state. They're licensed with the state. So No Ink, I believe, is at 24,500 for the actual tablets and the service, and Hart for the printers. All the rest of the equipment is 86,000. The commission 89,000.
So is the software on Park Invoice, is that different
Correct.
than what we just approved?
Correct.
In addition to, that's for the pads.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
This is just a check-in system.
This is just the check-in system.
The other is,
As we've told the court, our check-in system is no longer.
we didn't have one.
Right.
That's, yeah.
That was the
That was all
big
paid
issue,
and done.
correct. This will eliminate all of that. This will give us 47 check-in locations. State card stations and
13 of the 88.
whatever makes 60.
Yeah, there you go.
Over mine.
Curbside. So if somebody's curbside, they can walk out and they'll have a remote printer and a tablet that if somebody curbside wanted to vote, they could do that. And those could also be used in the building if, let's say, there's longer voting lines, they could use those curbsides inside as well to try to cut down on voting wait times. So
Make a motion to approve.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Who carries?
The purchase of that, Judge, where you want to possibly encumber that or bring that forward to encumber, the total is 89,000.
Well, then 89 and 24.5.
Did you get an email from Marshall about that grant? Okay, she said yesterday that she was gonna email you the information.
Okay.
So there's a grant for the
Or what?
portion of it? There was.
But we've been told by the state that we probably want to go ahead and apply. There's still funds available that I guess didn't.
They didn't.
use.
Didn't get allocated.
Right, and that the state knows our situation and what we just went through, and so they may be willing to take us on as a
Work it out.
campus. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That. But if we have unspent funds from last year's budget, I would prefer to try to utilize those prior to using funds out of this year's budget, if at all possible. The next Commissioners Court, we will be doing all of the encumbering that we've been talking about. It will be official and we'll have an actual, this is the bottom line number.
Budget.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Pass that one around. Number 12, I would like to just keep this as a discussion on the recommendation of the commission. It's a discuss interaction on the estimate for printer replacements for the Hart system. So the printers that are currently at the elections office that we're utilizing are not very old in my opinion, but in the IT land, I guess they are. They're 5 years old.
Oh, those are dinosaurs.
Yeah. Apparently the printer cartridges are getting hard to find and they're very expensive now. Hart quote is $60,000, $60,725 to replace all of the printers. The commission was exploring the option of doing a phased approach to replacing those.
That makes sense.
To where, especially getting on the things that we've already passed, the 2.7 upgrade, the No Ink and the poll books, those were priority. Those have to happen. These replacement printers, we've got printer cartridges. For the next election, we'll have to get some more, but we do have some and I don't want them to just be wasted. And the printers still work. It's just if they break, they're not gonna service them. So the commission's recommendation
Is to use
is to use them as long as we can and start phasing in the new printers.
As we
A
go.
few a few at a time, maybe get enough for the early polling locations this time. And then, so you'll probably get another recommendation later saying, hey, we want to buy 5, not 60.
Gotcha.
So, I left it on the agenda just so we would be able to discuss it, give you guys a heads up on what might be coming. But we don't think it's wise to just throw them all out. They still work. It's just if they break, they're not gonna service them. So
So no action.
no action on that. I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. Sorry. Number 13, discuss interaction on nominating Bill Hefner to ESD #1 board, replacing Mr. Goins.
That's my nomination. We make a motion to appoint Bill Heflin under the condition that he resign from his volunteer fire department position.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? You sure? No backing out now. All right. We do appreciate that, sir. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I know that it was mentioned that that is an unpaid position, and I guarantee you that if we look very hard, it's probably a position that they're paying.
Yeah, it's a negative cash flow deal.
For sure. So we do appreciate you. All right. Number 14, discuss interaction on nominating Chad Wilson for an additional term to the ESD #1 board.
So we've heard a lot of conversation today, a lot of negative about the treasurer position. This body of commissioners is not in the position of appointing positions within the ESD. All we can do is nominate people to the board, and the board has to put them where they're best suited under the guise of, and the law and the code. So that whatever the ESD position that they have available at the time, it would be where he'd be best served. And all the discussions of the bonding and the insurance and all that, that's an ESD issue, in my opinion. So I'll make a motion to nominate Chad Wilson.
I'm wondering if we ought to not push this back a little while until they get bonded, till they get all the proper paperwork. Can we push this back until they get their bond, they get all their proper paperwork in place?
We could do that. My position on this is, we're not appointing Chad to be the treasurer.
I understand that. I just, would it be better for us to make sure that they have all their paperwork and bonds in place before we make any recommendation or appointments?
There's a lot of questions and answers that hadn't been made.
Exactly.
Just 1 second.
What's the term, when's the term end date?
January. Is that correct? I believe it's just December 31st.
Yes. You have another meeting.
We do have another meeting prior to that. So the code does say that there is supposed to be a bond in place. Nobody was aware of that, as we've already heard. It came to our attention, and we have full intention of following the law. So last week, the code specifically states the county judge sets the bond. So I didn't have to bring it before court. I could set the bond. So I set the bond with the best practices of what I tried to figure out, the best practices of what the bond should be about. Right now, I calculated the bank account holdings at about $1 million, because it fluctuates when they spend, when they don't. And so I set the bond at $40,000. 4% for the first 3 million is general accepted practice in government funds. That's how I got to that number. I didn't just guess. So moving forward, they fully intend to get a bond, or it sounds like they're going to ask for other solutions from the state. That's fully up to them to ask for an attorney general's opinion on. Okay. Sounds like
I do have a question
a.
to that issue.
Yeah.
First of all, of course, it would be months before you hear back.
Correct.
Secondly, the AG is not going to opine about something that's a matter of your discretion. Any fact issue, they are not going to touch. They will draw a conclusion as when it comes to a legal conclusion, but any issue of fact, any matter of discretion, they're not going to say, no. We're not gonna chime in on that.
Okay. Mr. Brown, would you like to
Yes.
speak?
So, a couple of things, so with Mr. Tad Wilson, and I know we were talking about the money in the bond. At no point in time was the citizens' money ever in any jeopardy. We have an insurance policy, we've had one for years, so it's $450,000. The bond is for $40,000, so the money is secure. That's basically a non-issue. I can get you the paperwork from it, we talked to our VFIS, we've sent it to our lawyer, everything is still good. Mr. Wilson, Chad Wilson, cannot fix the past. So we've been operating like this. I was treasurer for 3 years, and we can't go back in the past and fix everything that was already done. All we can do is move forward.
And I'm not asking you to fix the past,
Yes,
it's
sir.
past. I'm just making sure we get all of our paperwork in order before we move forward.
We've already worked on getting the bond. We're going through the same company that ESD2 has also went through. This job is hard enough,
I understand.
and also on the families.
And I'm not picking on you. I
No,
appreciate
yes,
what
sir.
you do.
I agree.
I'm just,
Yes, sir. You're doing your job. I completely understand. And some of the things that I want to make sure of, just like, I'm sorry, John's name, Mr. Ken Going said, there's times when we've only had 3 commissioners, and I've been on the board at that point in time. Without 3 commissioners, if we only get 2, we don't have a quorum. Without a quorum, bills can't get paid. Some of the things that he is asking for, and here's the repercussions that I am trying to prevent. And a lot of people don't realize this. We pay the firefighters' life insurance and workers' comp. Without a quorum, we can't pay those bills. We pay for the paging system and the radio communications. Without us paying those bills, there's no pages. 911 has nobody to send to. There's no communication. We also pay for the vehicle insurance. They can't drive on the roads without that. If they do drive an emergency vehicle on the road, their personal insurance will not cover it, and they will be personally liable if anything happens. So not only are they going out in a dangerous job, risking their lives, possibly not coming home. Correct. Now their families will be taken care of. The operational funding for the departments, we are the primary for them. Donations have been down for years. And if they just went off the donations, it may be $4,000 to $1,000 a year for most of our rural fire departments. So what I'm trying to prevent is, I'm trying to prevent us from telling the wrong message that, hey, we want you guys, and I understand we want to slow down and look at things. But on the same token, we also need to make sure we're looking into the future and making sure that we're taking care of things. There's no guarantee that you're like, okay, we get everything together, that Mr. Chad Wilson wants to stay on the board at that point in time. Maybe he feels like he doesn't have the support. Maybe a couple of days go by and it's like, you know what? He wants to win and he wants to come do this job. He was offered the position and he didn't take it. So I'll leave and he can come take it now. Maybe that'll be, what happens. But what I'm trying to do is prevent and make sure that we're taking care of our fire departments and also taking care of our commissioners. We're gonna get the bond. It's a no-brainer. We understand the law. Do laws need to be changed from time to time? Yes. So we are gonna pursue that. Just like the attorney said, we are gonna pursue that. But getting the bond is not a big deal. It's $2,000 that we will spend on the fire departments, even though our money is already insured, that we will spend to make sure that we're taken care of.
that's all.
Can you get that by the next commissioner's court?
We already went into for getting the bond and it's already been approved. The only issue is I can't do anything until we have a commissioner's till we have our court, because I can't unilaterally spend that money on my own. So
So you have to have a meeting. to
Correct.
approve that.
And that's the problem with a lot of things. It takes 30 days for us to do anything. If anything comes up, I have to put it on the agenda, which is almost a week before the meeting. Then, so really I only get 3 weeks to get everything together to have a meeting. And then 3 weeks again before I have to put out another agenda.
But you have the ability to call a special.
Yes, I can call a special meeting.
Is that something that you could do in a timely enough manner to get the bond before the 23rd?
Yes, our actual next meeting is gonna be the 18th. So,
The 18th.
correct, the 18th. So, but those are the things that I'm trying to prevent, and those are the things that I'm looking at. And like I said, the bond has already been approved. He's been bonded before. So when we did all the paperwork, we talked on Thursday or Friday, I believe it was, Judge. So everything came back here on Monday that you guys were approved. You know, he might already have it now. I have no clue. I'm gonna have to get in touch with the actual bonding company, correct, which are local here. So he might already have a bond in place, but we still have to discuss that financially with the board before we actually pull the trigger and make a decision. So we actually talked to two different bonding companies to make sure we get the best there. We haven't heard back from the second bonding company, but the first one said he's already approved.
I'll withdraw my motion and push that to the 23rd.
Thank you.
Council, no input.
That's the thing to do.
Okay. So, Mr. Chad Wilson, position is not vacated until the 31st. So we would push that until the 23rd and appoint him on the 23rd if he's willing to take it.
And if the bond's in place.
Mr. Wilson? Would you like to speak to the court? If you do, come on up. This is Chad Wilson.
I've had a lot of things to say about myself and a lot about my integrity. And as Commissioner Brown just spoke, sorry, I get kind of. We've already got the bond in place. So it's not in place. It hadn't been signed by me. We have not agreed to pay for it. What we are exchanging is we are exchanging a protection of $450,000 more of protection. If 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I understand law. I understand it is law. I understand it says bond. It does not say surety bond. It says bond in the code. My deal is I agreed when I took this position to stand up for the taxpayers, and I did. And at that point, at what point is it better to have a $40,000 protection than a $450,000 protection against the taxpayer? Anything against somebody in my position doing something wrong. And I'm looking, as Greg said, Mr. Brown said, I'm looking at tomorrow. I know I'm not, I mean, it already came back that fast that I can get the surety bond. I've been bonded before. It's not a big deal. My deal is this position is not paid, and we do not get a dime for it. It is hard. Commissioner Brown and myself have spent countless hours trying to better these firemen that are sitting here in support of us today. And for the last 20 years, you would not see firemen sitting in this courtroom in support of ESD. Okay, y'all been on this, there's some of y'all have been around here for a long time, and y'all know that's the truth. We have people make allegations and everything else, like Commissioner Brown said too. I've been on this board for 2 years. This is my 2-year mark. I've been treasurer for a year, not even a year yet. And I've spent countless hours away from my family, away from my wife that I just recently married. And this is hard. If you take any job seriously, it's hard. And it is. And as men, even women that are truly dedicated to their jobs, what do they have to do? You put it all on the line, and I have, for an unpaid position. Y'all can make your decisions how you want. Y'all can. If I don't have the support of y'all, then I don't have the support of the county that I'm fighting for, that I'm trying to get these people that are out here protecting and putting their lives on the line. And I'm trying to get them some equipment that's better. The jobs that she just spoke about that failed. the hope was, everybody wants our 5-year plan. What do you plan to do with this money? Well, how can I plan for money that I don't have? For us just to outfit 2 air packs for each department of the departments we have is almost $300,000 for 2. We're not even replacing everything. But my integrity's been put on the line. My integrity's been called out by Mr. Daniel Wilson repeatedly. I mean, I need to think about if I even want to continue to be part of this, because without the support of y'all, then where are we at? And we keep getting allegation after allegation. We're trying to do everything that we can. We're a new board. We are. I'm not saying that everything is 100%. We're trying to work through it, but we're trying to start at the top. We're trying to, first things first is making sure that these men and women come home safe, and that everybody's life that gets put on, that's in jeopardy out there, that we have all the equipment to be able to do what needs to be done. I mean, but if I don't have the support of y'all, then I don't need to do the job.
You do have our support.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
mean,
do have our support.
We just wanna make sure we're doing things by the law.
That's it. I can pull the surety bond up right now on my phone. It is in my email. It just hasn't been signed, and I can't sign anything till we can approve to pay for it. I know y'all weren't aware of that, but just like Mr. Holcomb said, y'all don't appoint us to positions that we're in. Y'all just appoint us to the board.
Correct.
So that's where I'm at. Like I said, I've dealt with this. I've dealt with people questioning my integrity
For a volunteer position.
for a volunteer position, and I haven't done anything wrong. I know that there's deficiencies. We've seen them. Greg and myself and our current positions have been through 10 official meetings as far as meetings. Y'all know as well as I do. And y'all have a lot more meetings, but the deal is we have 1 meeting a month. You put it on the agenda today. Well, if you need more information, that's another 30 days. Then you want to turn around and you need more information because you didn't get it or you're getting quotes. You can't do anything till then. Then you got to implement it. Next thing you know, you're 4 months in before you can make a decision on the simplest item. I can't fix everything overnight. Mr. Brown, any one of us as commissioner of the board cannot fix everything and anything overnight. It's simple. I mean, talk to us. If we got something wrong, bring it to our attention. Bring it so we can try to fix it.
Well, it's easy to sit outside and throw rocks at the windows, like Mr. Wilson has done. And after the 3 courts ago, when he had his open forum, I called him. And he seemed to have a high level of interest and very detailed. And I asked him to serve. Would you be interested in serving on the ESD board? Well, I'd have to think about that. Well, then I'd have to go to a couple meetings. And then most recently, no, I can't be a part of that. So if you don't want to be a part of the solution, stop throwing rocks and be supportive of the effort that people are volunteering their time for.
I have a full-time job and a full-time business. And that's before I ever even do one thing for ESD. I don't have time to do it. I make time because these men and women out here are important to me.
Service hard.
And I've been around the fire departments for many, many years, and I've known the issues. I walked into ESD and there was nothing but yelling and screaming at every ESD meeting when I started this venture. That's what it was. And now we work together and we're becoming one. Because that's how it's supposed to be. They're a contractor to ESD. They don't work for ESD, they are a contractor for ESD. That creates its own fair share, but we're working together as a team, which is what it's supposed to be.
Amen.
We've got to worry about them getting home each and every day. Because every one of these, we don't have within ESD, Hillsborough is the only paid department within this entire county. We have one of the largest counties in the state of Texas. We are one of the largest ESDs with one of the least amount of money of anybody. There is not another ESD out there that's supporting 15 different departments. There's not. So that creates its own set of battles. trying to cover 1,000 square miles. You know, people talk about taxpayers, talking about us raising taxes and everything else. End of the day, what we just went through and asked for. I mean, we never asked to even go to a ceiling of 10 cents, but if we did and we ever got to that 10 cents, the average median home value in this county is $225,000. If it was 300, if you go based on $300,000, it's $300 a year at 10 cents. I ask any one of y'all, ask anybody in this courtroom, what is your loved one coming home if they're in a car wreck? What's that set of jaws? It costs $40,000 to $45,000. What is it worth to you? Because that's what it boils down to. That's where it comes from. Not asking for the sky, not asking for everything, but I can't move forward. We can't move forward without us all coming together. And that's what it boils down to. I appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Sure, I promise.
Hold on one second.
I'm asking all of you right now, bring him, put him on the board. You're not giving him a position. This man gives 100%. This board gives these fire departments 100%. We fight with equipment that's so damn old, you have the guts to sit there and say, you want to stop.
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Mr.
I apologize.
You have citizens from.
Ma'am, we're just asking.
Go ahead and have a seat for me. Ms. Strickland, go ahead and have a seat for me. Thank you. All right.
Next.
No, we gotta take action on
I
this.
withdrew that. I withdrew my motion. You pushed it.
You withdrew the motion to push to the 23rd. Okay. So here's the question that is presented. Obviously, this is a passionate subject. I don't think any one of us would hesitate at giving up $300 if we were standing there waiting for jaws to work or not. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about taxes. We've given the voters their opportunity to speak on those things and can again. That's the way the system works. We're talking about whether or not we're appointing Mr. Wilson to the board today or on the 23rd. If we were to appoint Mr. Wilson today, that would mean that he is the treasurer in this upcoming year. We don't know what the board is going to do with that. So I think the decision before us right now is if Mr. Wilson is willing to serve, do we appoint him today? If he is willing to serve and we want to wait for the bond to be put in place, then it would be on the 23rd. In which case there would still be a quorum of the board of commissioners the entire time. I personally have no reservations in appointing Mr. Wilson either time. I would be thrilled for him to serve. And as stated, I've not seen an ESD 1 board work as wonderfully as they have. Efficiency, honesty, integrity is and I'm not speaking bad about any other boards because I haven't been here long enough to know, but I have seen this one and I've been around the fire service a little bit in my previous employments. So.
Are you making a motion?
Any other council, any other?
Well, if the agenda item, does not have a motion, then it fails for lack of a motion to move on to the next agenda item.
Do we need to table it till the 23rd? Do we need to, I make a motion to table it? His appointment till the 23rd?
See what the issue is with that. I mean, all
I
you're
would just-
asking is.
I would like to see the bond on the table.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying anything bad about the board or anything, just for clarity. Open honesty is right. Should I make that motion? We table it till the 23rd?
We don't have to have a motion to table, we'll just take no action. If we, we'll put this back on the agenda for the 23rd, at which point ESD one will have already had their meeting and they can tell us if the bond is in place and if Mr. Wilson is willing to serve in that position. All right. Number 15, discuss interaction on creating animal control board. Mr. Holcomb?
Yeah, this came up at our last meeting and there's been, ongoing issues in, the whole county with, animals being dropped off. What to do with them. I get calls all the time and we didn't bury it. Well, I'd open that up for discussion to the court. See how we want to approach it.
So I've done some research into an advisory committee, animal control board advisory committee, or I guess the name doesn't really matter, whatever you'd like to call it. If the county were running an animal shelter, the state would require us to have an advisory committee that's made up of at least one licensed veterinarian, one county official, one person whose duties include the daily operation of an animal shelter, and one representative from an animal welfare organization. They can also appoint any citizens as well. If the court decided to put into place an animal advisory committee, animal control board, I would suggest that we mirror those guidelines to somewhat that is appropriate for our county. I don't think they came up with those randomly. So if that is something the court would like to do, I would like to see it mirror that as much as possible with the resources that we have in the county. Obviously, I know that today, our livestock officer isn't here, but he is. Is it North Texas Humane Society, Mr. Brooks? Humane Society of North Texas. Humane Society of North Texas is in the county yesterday and today. I think they they were voluntarily relinquished. Voluntarily surrendered 25 cats, and I think today will be over 50 dogs. So there is some work being done within the county with the resources that we have. Now, obviously, North Texas is big, so it's not like they focus on us often. But when we do have an issue, they do help us out. But those are generally not the ones and twos. Those are operations that are not just a health hazard to the animals, but to people and many other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked the court, what is your thoughts, your intentions? Not everybody speak at once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get the shelter business.
Fitting.
Yeah. Well, it's a hard issue. It's been an ongoing issue. I don't think it's gonna go away with an increase in population.
No, not.
It's just gonna get worse, but we, I like your idea. If we do like to appoint an advisory committee, what does that look like? If you follow those guidelines, do we have an elected official that's willing to step in there and be a part of that? Do we have citizens that are willing to be a part of that? And I think from what the open forum comments were on the last time, that we do have people, at least in the city, that we are interested in having something like that. I'm like you, Scotty, and it's hard for us with the limited funds that we've got to have a animal control team that does that. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Record recognize you. Go ahead and state your name for me.
Morning, my name is Denise Zamora. I'm the founder of Paws Place Rescue. I am a 501c3 organization serving Hill County and the city of Whitney. I stand here today not as someone pointing fingers, but as someone offering solutions because our county has waited long enough for real change. Whitney has operated with no animal control services, leaving residents, law enforcement, and rescues in a constituted reactive crisis. Paws Place Rescue has stepped into that role because someone had to. We hold monthly community meetups. We communicate openly about funding, intakes, protocols, and improvements, and we listen, truly listen, to what our residents need and want. This is not because our sheriff's office doesn't care. It's because their hands are tied by limited ordinances and lack of enforcement authority. When an officer responds to a call, he cannot seize, cannot cite, and cannot act because the county has not given him the legal tools to do so. Today, we have the opportunity to change that. The law already allows what we are asking for. Texas law gives counties broad authority to protect public health and safety through animal control ordinances, and counties have options. We may employ your own animal control officers. You may contract with a municipality, and what many Texas counties already do, you may contract with a 501c3 rescue organization to perform animal control duties on behalf of the county. This is not new. This is not untested. This is common practice across Texas. With a formal agreement, a nonprofit rescue can legally act as an agent of the county so long as personnel meet state and county training requirements for animal control officers. And that brings me to this. I am willing to meet every requirement this county needs. If certification or additional training is required for me or any members of Paws Place Rescue to assist the county, we are prepared to complete it. Whitney does not currently provide its own animal control, and because Paws Place Rescue sits outside county limits, we have become the only support system residents have. I am not asking for authority without accountability. I am asking for the opportunity to be properly trained, legally recognized, and officially partnered with Hill County so we can finally address these issues together. The problem is not the people, it's the system. Right now, we are seeing loose and abandoned dogs, livestock attacks, ongoing parvo outbreaks, packs roaming neighborhoods, families afraid to walk outside, good Samaritans stepping in without support, volunteers and rescues doing work that should be shared with the county structure. This is not a rescue problem. This is not a sheriff's office problem. This is a system problem because there is no structured system. A rescue cannot enforce laws. Law enforcement cannot act without ordinance authority. The county cannot fix this without collaborative partnership. That is exactly why we requested the creation of an animal welfare and control board, a group that includes rescues, shelters, law enforcement, and community members working together with one purpose to finally bridge the gap between what the law allows and what our community desperately needs. My request today, I am respectfully asking this court to move forward with establishing the Hill County Animal Welfare and Control Board, including representation from rescues, shelters, and public safety. Explore and formalize a partnership or contract allowing Paws Place Rescue or any qualified nonprofit to legally assist the county in accordance with Texas law. Begin building a sustainable animal control system that protects residents, animals, and public health. Hill County deserves a system that works. Whitney deserves support. Our sheriff deserves tools, not limitations. Our community deserves action, not excuses. This court has the opportunity today to say yes. Yes to progress, yes to collaboration, yes to a safer, healthier county for people and for animals. On behalf of Paws Place Rescue, our volunteers, and every animal that has suffered because the system failed them, I'm asking you to choose forward and motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if we were to develop this advisory committee, one, we would have to find volunteers to be on it, that fit these requirements.
Would they be appointed to this board?
They would be appointed by the court to the board to serve a 2-year term is in general of what they look at. This would not include any municipalities. Basically, what we would have to do is if we chose to adopt it today, then we would have to come back later and have exactly the responsibilities of that board. So there is no vagueness as to what the responsibilities of that board. No funding is tied to the board. If the board cannot make any promises to spend funds, the board cannot act in any municipality. because we have no jurisdiction over that. No promise of funding, no funding to the board, no promises to other entities of funding, no promises of ordinance being developed. Basically, there's no promises. The board would come together, try to find solutions to our issues.
And then come back.
And then come back and present those options, preferably with some type of structures. So, hold on one second. Hold on one second. So that would be the structure of the board. We would have to also adopt that, and then we would have to go out and look for those members to fill said board. Did you have something else? Okay, but this is a different body. Okay, right, but with this board, it would be a very organized board working just like the court does, or just like an ESD does. They would hold their own meetings, identify the solutions, or first obviously problems, and then the solutions.
Report to them.
And then we'll come back and make a presentation to the commissioners court as to ideas or solutions. And then the court would have to be tasked with whether those are realistic for us to adopt or tackle or whatever. So again, I would say we would mirror it. We would need to find a licensed vet, a county official, a person whose duties include daily operation of an animal shelter, and one representative from a welfare organization. Those would be the tasks.
You have thoughts? You have thoughts on this?
Are you asking me to comment on this?
Yes.
There would be nothing more than I would love than to have some sort of animal control in the county, some sort of shelter. I understand the cost is outrageous. But you gotta know that if that happens, then I'm gonna have to hire employees to do that job. By statute, the only thing that I am required to by law at this point in time is to have a livestock officer, which I do have that, and he does way more than livestock. And I appreciate that. You do a very good. If we're looking for an elected official to sit on that board, it affects me drastically in my office, so I would be willing to do that. If needed.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Ms. Teal, you, in relation to this,
Yes, sir. So one of the things that I have seen just in Hill County is there are a lot of rescues, a lot of individuals. And sometimes they're talking to each other and sometimes they're not. And we see this even in government where there's a lot of overlapping organizations doing sometimes a lot of the same things and doubling sometimes the costs and efforts. When I brought this up as strictly an advisory board, I have no intention of seeing the county actually spend a lot of money on this at all. However, by putting together a county level board, you take away a lot of the individual discretion of what information is going out there and put it into a centralized location, a publicly noticed meeting where anybody can come and there's minutes so people can see what's going on, what's being discussed, and residents can show up and brainstorm and help figure out solutions and donations. An animal advisory board could accept donations for different projects. Yes,
If it was so structured.
yeah.
and I
If you
believe
have-
they could.
If you have that structure in place. And, you know, I know that, you know, Denise and Paul houses work and are working, you know, countywide a lot. But, you know, again, when residents say, who do I call? You know, there's not really a good solid list, and that's something that the Animal Advisory Board can do. It can help just network what's going on in the county, especially when you've got such a rural area. So I like the idea of mirroring what would be required by law if we got to the point of having, you know, enough money for a shelter. But just the communication, just the open communication in a structured manner, regular manner, noticed manner, would be fantastic. So thanks.
Okay.
Don't get me.
I say if you're wanting to move on, Jim's willing to do it and the sheriff is willing to do it, that's a start.
Okay. So the agenda reads approval of the development of the board. I do believe we need to come back to adopt the framework of said board. And then, as I said before, the finding those volunteers. I don't think the board could do anything until we had those slots filled, the vet, or the county officer, we already have, county official. Daily operation of an animal shelter, and then representative from an animal welfare organization. Now, obviously, I don't know if North Texas, if we should ask if they would want to be included in that. Just because they have larger resources that we might be able to pull down from them.
And experience, and that would be my first recommendation.
So we may ask them if Mr. Brooks might get us in contact with them as well. I guess the question I have is, you're developing something that we've never had, never even talked about, and I need someone to spearhead that.
That needs to be, how you looking?
Mr. Crumpton nominated you.
I think you did.
Yes, sir.
I heard Larry say something.
Well, I mean, we do have a commissioner's not here.
You have to
We
get.
could nominate him.
Good boy.
Sign.
We did have to get the structure in place. We had to get the, we have to have a vet, and I'm assuming that the requirement of that would be met if we pulled in the North Texas Humane Society. Yes,
If they had a vet.
nobody. But they have a vet on, they have a vet on staff, I'm assuming.
Did you guys decide to go to Texas?
Yes.
They have one of them, that's. I don't know if they're on staff or if they have to contract out and do that. Not sure, but I can find that out.
Okay.
So one thing I would be interested in knowing, Ms. Teal has suggested that this be a body that's subject to the Open Meetings Act. With the government, so when this body is created, they start getting open record requests. Who's gonna respond to those? I'm not their elder. I'm not gonna advise them on their open record stuff, so.
I think that would be on the advisory committee. They're standing up a board that would be on them to develop and move forward. But that would be my opinion, that the board would be responsible for itself. It's standalone from the commissioners. So that would be up to the board and the members of the board if they wanted to do that. Again, this is two separate.
Uncharted territory.
Well, it is uncharted territory, but it's two separate entities.
And it's very cool.
It is, and that's why I think some well thought out guidelines moving forward are step one. So. There a motion? And if there is, what is it?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
You want a motion?
No, I don't want anything. I'm waiting for, he said he's thinking.
Let's see if he'll take it. Let's see if he'll do it. And, I understand it's a problem. And it's an animal problem. It's an ESD problem.
Actually,
They don't have enough money.
it's not an animal problem, it's a people problem.
It is a people
Right.
problem.
People get these animals and they don't.
We're a target.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
we're so
problem.
rural.
It's a problem. And, it's always a money deal. ESD needs equipment. our county roads needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And I have worked very hard in 10 years to try to improve these roads. And people don't realize what it costs to get these roads improved. And I've worked very hard to get that done, and I've done over 90 miles. Improving these roads. Now I've got to sit back and redo those roads to keep them in place. If not, I've wasted my money. I've wasted county money. And I want to continue to improve the roads. There's still, another 100 miles that needs to be done. And Hill County's been needing that for years. And I've been hoping for 10 years that the budget would get better and better and better. That it has not happened. It's improved a little bit, but to do a mile of county road with time you rock it, time you put 2 chip seals on it, you're looking at $80,000 a mile in just materials. That doesn't count the equipment and labor to do these projects. If I do 5 miles, 80,000 miles, my budget's gone. I haven't got nothing to do the rest of the year. So, I understand where everybody wants to go and where we need to be, but it's gonna take time.
Now, our population is growing. And, that's really our job, is to figure out how to grow the county with it and address those kinds of problems. And it's not easy. No, it's not easy with our limited budget. So that's part of the dilemma here, is where does money come from without raising taxes and private donations? How do you structure that? How do you mirror that with the commissioner's court really just being an oversight body of a tangential, it's really not a formal animal control entity. That's the problem.
What does the city of Hillsborough have?
They have an animal control.
They have animal.
Yes, but their area is nothing. Yeah, it is nothing compared to ours. And
Well,
this would be,
The police powers of the two, the county and municipality are completely different.
Yeah.
and this, again, this would be an advisory board. They would be.
This is just putting the board together to come back for to say.
They can take no action. It's an advisory board. This is what we're talking about. So.
Denise, did you have something?
So for us, I've been speaking about our rescue.
I'm hard to hear.
I'm just speaking on behalf of our rescue. We get donations. We have a sponsor. We have a foundation that has gave us money. There's money coming in, and all I'm doing is trying to extend my hand to other rescues and shelters to collaborate and work together. But if that doesn't happen, then I'll just stick with Whitney and I'll focus on Whitney and not care about anybody else.
Well, that's not true, because that's not what your heart is.
Huh?
He's saying he would,
You do care about others.
you do care.
No, I'm saying
You
if
can't
it
handle it.
doesn't happen, if the collaboration doesn't happen, then it's
You
because,
can't, you
you
can't.
know what, with different rescues, we don't all communicate.
Right.
There's.
Well, and that's
ego
that's
going on.
kind of what I think this board would serve as, is as an advisory board where the different stakeholders can come together
Yes,
and communicate, and not only just communicate among themselves, but communicate with the public. Let's say the advisory board identifies, hey, we can do a low cost spay and neuter. One on the east side, one on the west side of the county. It costs nothing to the county. We just need to get the word out.
that's exactly where,
That's
that's
it.
why Amy's.
So that's what the advisory board
work
could do.
together. She sees that I started months ago with the community meetups. I want to hear from the community. I want, what do you need? What do you want? And we've already I started a care program for people that I can't physically take in their dogs or their cats. And they actually foster, there's a lot of owner surrenders out there. So they're basically, and it's hard. When I leave here, I'm going to pick up a dead cat. I shouldn't be doing that. Animal control should be doing it. Like other people, I get these calls that animal control should be answered, but Whitney doesn't have one.
Get that.
And
We get them all the time.
yeah,
And I get calls of come get this dog now, and I'm like, no, So I'm willing to collaborate and work. Make a difference.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna ask. I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I make a motion that we form an animal control.
Animal Control Advisory Board.
Animal Control Advisory.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 16, discuss interaction on setting public hearing to set and install traffic control devices in the form of 30 mph speed limit sign from the end of pavement FM 3050 to HCR 1212.
I make a motion that we set a public hearing. Let's see, that would probably be our first meeting in January. For the speed limits. And that's coming off the end of the pavement there at 3050 and around the corner to 191 on 1212.
Okay. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. What day?
January the 13th.
January.
That would be the 13th, yeah.
All right. The motion. I had a second.
You got a motion, you got a second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Now, this next one, I believe, Mr. Holmes and I had already discussed the installation of the children at play signs in 164, 1212 to 191, 1212. And it is our opinion that there's no action needed by the board. It's not a traffic control device.
But we don't need public hearing, but I wanted to put it on the agenda.
Okay, but you can just put them out.
I think you just left some.
Well, just all do it then.
So there's no action, no action.
I wouldn't wasted your time.
No. All right, number 18, public hearing to install traffic control devices in the form of 30 mph speed limit signs on Hill County Road 1143. Is anybody here for that public hearing today? Speak on it. Anybody online? All right, we'll go ahead and close that public hearing. Number 20, discuss interaction on installing traffic control devices in form 30 mph speed limit signs on Hill County Road 1143.
And I make a motion to install traffic control device in the form of 35 speed limit sign on County Road 1143.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is public hearing to install traffic control devices on, in the form of 30 mph speed limit signs on Hill County Road 1146. Anybody here for that public hearing? Anybody online?
Can you go back, Mr. Holman, did your last motion, was it 35 or was it 30?
30.
30.
Okay, I missed her.
30 million.
Just make sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and close it. Go ahead and close that public hearing. And number 23, discuss interaction on installing the traffic control devices in the form of a 30 mph speed limit sign, County Road 1146.
Make a motion to install traffic control device in form of 30 mile an hour speed limit sign on 1146.
Second. Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Make a